Well, hello there, and welcome to this episode of 20 Sides of Failure Plays Curse of Strahd. I am that goth big titty girl at the back of the bookstore, how we doing? And here are my players. Let's do a little bit of going around the horseshoe, starting with our human artificer.
Hello, I'm Dusky Bee. I'm playing Jack with his left-hand mechanical man, King. And yeah, it's a bit of a sad day right now. Things didn't go according to plan and got kicked out of town.
And next we have our elven sorcerer.
Well, hi guys. I'm Mythical, and I play Saya Sombra, who's a little bit of an angsty elf who... She's a little hard to figure out, but she means well. She means well. Enough said.
And then in the middle of the horseshoe we have our rogue.
Hi. I think that's me. I believe that's me. Hi, I'm Zara. Well, in the game, I'm Azazel. Everyone's favorite companion in the game. No, can do no wrong, and is deared by all.
Of course. And after that we have our Furbolg druid.
Hello everybody, it's your friendly neighborhood Ness, and I play the Furbolg druid, Sandra Elwood, who is definitely, for once, not really smiling. And it's a bit off-putting, but we'll get there in session.
And last, but certainly not least, the flower of the party.
Hello. I'm Norrin Nightingale, and I will be doing Aurora Rose, the Osmer Paladin who is a little bit depressed right now.
A little bit of the depressy spaghetti.
A little bit.
But last week, where we left off, the party had been invited to join in the Festival of the Blazing Sun, one of the newest in a line of festivals held in Vallaki over the last couple of months. After getting to the town square and watching as the burgomaster took his frustrations out on one of the guards, the party stepped in before any real harm could be done. Words were shared and spat until the burgomaster had heard enough, no longer willing or patient enough to listen to these barbed words. He banished them, making it so that it was known that they were not welcome in Vallaki, no one was to serve them, and if they were ever recognised, they were to be thrown out. The party very quickly latched onto that idea, as they'd rather be exiled than anything worse happened to them. More words were spat, more insults traded. The party is on the brink of disaster. The cracks forming in the foundations, and it takes an unlikely person to step forward, and it's Irina that takes the horse by the reins and begins to walk westward, with no real plan other than head west, head to Kresk, and hope that there she can find some safety. And that is where we pick up. The gates have just been shut behind you. And there are two roads technically ahead of you. One of them circles back round, going around the... what's it called? Going around the outskirts of the town wall, heading back east and heading back to potentially Barovia, heading back to Ismark, or potentially going somewhere like Castle Ravenloft, or back to the windmill. There's also another road that heads straight west. And although
Excuse me, Irina. Oh, nope, never mind.
I was going to say, although there was conviction in her steps, now that she's outside the gate, you can see Irina pausing as if to take in the surroundings.
So, do you know where you want to go?
The only place that's left.
Of course. Absolutely agree.
Kind of bracing herself against the rain, pulling the hood up on her travelling cloak, so even that is above the helmet that she's wearing. She begins to make her way down this growing very steadily muddy forest path.
We should probably see about stopping at that winery. That way we're not traveling all day in the rain.
I agree. Does anyone object?
No,
I'm
also
sorry.
think that's a good idea.
Can you repeat that? I zoned out for a second.
I was suggesting we stop at the winery. That way we're not traveling all day in the rain. When we get there, we can probably rest there. At least until this blows over.
Yes, that sounds good. Side note, I'm very sleep deprived tonight, so I'm sorry.
How dare you? Alright then, let's head there then, if that's alright. No one answered. I'm going to say it's alright, let's go.
After about 15 minutes of walking, the sounds of rushing water begin to get louder as you come to a river. There's a small little bridge that crosses over, and it's easy enough to go over, but with the massive amounts of rain that you're having right now, the river is quite close to bursting its banks. You can imagine that this area of the woods potentially gets flooded quite often. And it's across this bridge that you come to your first choice. You find yourself at a crossroads. The road comes to an X intersection, with branches to the northwest, northeast, southwest, and southeast. The lower half of a snapped wooden signpost thrusts upward at an angle near the eastern elbow of the intersection. The top half of the sign, featuring arms pointing in 4 directions, lies in the weeds nearby.
I'm gonna go pick up the top half of that sign, and I'm gonna take it back to the lower half. I'm guessing it's not a thick post.
Not necessarily.
Fantastic. I'm gonna see if I can put it back together and cast mending on it to be able to repair that sign so we know which way is actually the right way.
That's fair enough. It's pretty easy to figure out which way that the post goes. It's not necessarily a puzzle to do. And you're able to realign the 2 stumps of wood. You do also begin to hear calls in the distance. Above the rain, you can hear some kind of howl as a wolf responds to another. Now that you've fixed the signpost, the one that goes to the southwest is labelled Kresk and Solenka Pass. Lake Baratok is to the northwest. Vallaki and Ravenloft to the northeast, following the path you've just come down. And Berez to the southeast.
I'm gonna look over to Irina because she was handed the letter. Oh, I'm assuming where the winery was. Does it say which way to head?
If I remember correctly from what Erwin said, the winery is on the way to Kresk. I don't believe it's on any signposts, but it's in the direction of. I don't want to get the map out though, in case it melts in the rain. And you can see, like, when she originally got the map, it is literally just ink on a dishcloth. So the ink will run in this weather.
Understood. We'll head to Kresk then.
How far of a travel is Chris?
I have no idea. A couple of hours at the very least.
Alright, let's go there and get a room, and then we can figure out this winery business if needed, or we can just rest for the rest of the day.
I can't really speak for everybody, but once we're in a stable place where we're dry, I believe some talking is in order.
What, are we not one big happy family right now?
I don't quite agree with that. I think there are some things that need to be said, and with no animosity between parties, but we need to talk and air out some grievances without blaming people. Get some things off our chest, and once we say what is needed and everything has been aired out, then we can come to a conclusion that satisfies everybody.
Done. I like it. Let's go.
That's also when Sonder will drop the disguise self, because I forgot that he put that on there.
Completely fair. You're walking for another 45 minutes. The path in general is relatively level. You're not having to go up and down any peaks or valleys, but the path is slowly getting waterlogged. You do, however, come to a slight bit of an intersection, where to your left, heading south, there is another pathway. There isn't any sign.
I bet this would be the winery. Do we want to head down this way, or do we want to go to Kresk?
Oh, I wonder how... What do you think the distance between the two is?
Well, being that this is the pathway probably heading to the winery, I'd say that's pretty close. Kresk, I have no idea.
I feel like we should go to Kresk first, get Irina out of plain view, and then maybe go on the winery, unless she's tired of staying in a room and wants to be out and about again.
DM. Isn't Crest the town that Saya wants to go to find that priest?
Yeah, it's the town that you were told the abbot lives in.
Okay. Saya's gonna say, I'd really like for us to get to Crest sooner than later.
Alrighty, we're heading to Kresk.
Head there, find a room, do whatever we need to do, and we can come back here for the winery.
Okay. Heading further along the path. I need to make sure that I get this description correct, because there are a lot of winding roads, so just bear with me. Okay. Ah, I got that wrong then. Nope, that's completely fair and fine and on me.
We somehow find ourselves at Castle Ravenloft. Huh, this is weird.
Oh my god.
This is not the direction that we wanted to go at all.
I wonder who could have done this.
All paths lead to Ravenloft.
Okay. Too bad, not too bad. You see a weather-worn signpost next to the road. The three arms of the sign point along the three branches of the road. The arm pointing north reads Kresk, and through the woods you can see an arching stone bridge spanning a river. The arm pointing east reads Vallaki, and the road slopes up gradually in that direction. The arm pointing southwest reads the Wizard of Wines. The road slopes gently downwards in that direction.
Well, I was wrong about the last intersection.
There is another path that heads northward, but this is less of a constructed path and more of just a beaten dirt footpath that has been treaded into the forest.
I think we're heading towards Kresk on this one.
I'm just checking everyone's passive perceptions on this one. I'm gonna need to roll, I think. Oh wait, no, because they're... No, I'll have everyone just roll a perception check. This isn't gonna be... What's it called? This isn't gonna be passive. I mean, I'm seeing good rolls from everyone.
Did you say
Other
perception?
than- Yes, perception.
I got jinxed. You
I just
jinxed
rolled
me!
Persuasion?
Persuasion?
Alright. I thought I accidentally clicked that.
Persuade yourself you see this.
Okay. All of you. So even with the dud roll from Saya, all of you see standing off on the corner next to the intersection that would lead to the winery, two scarecrows. They seem to have been posted up outside almost as a warning or scare tactic. But there's two of them. Motionless, like tied to the stakes that they've been planted into the ground with.
Interesting. There's no crops for them to be here.
How many scarecrows?
Two.
Two.
Can we
Are they-
see?
Oh, go for it.
Sorry. Can we see any like straw, like coming out of parts of the scarecrows?
Not unless you get closer.
Well, that sucks.
Are they close to the road, or how far out are they?
So if you're stood in the middle of the intersection, to give you the best possible thing of seeing every road, they will be at the very least 20 feet away from you and then spread 20 feet apart because they are on either side of this dirt track road.
Yeah, I'll make a small detour. I want to take a look at one of these things just to make sure it's an actual scarecrow.
I'm gonna be your backup.
Okay, so we've got Queenie and Jack heading towards the scarecrows. As you get closer, Jack and Queenie, you can see that at first it looks like these scarecrows have been really quickly stuffed, in the sense of their bodies are lumpy and misshapen. It looks like someone has just stuffed something into the stomach and then left it there. And then, as you get closer, you can see in between, like, the buttons of the waistcoats that they're wearing, or in the seam of the sack what would be their torso. And you see feathers. Black feathers.
Well, that's not a good sign at all.
Weren't we told to respect the birds?
Very much so. And whomever put these up, don't think is.
Yeah. Can we see that these are like raven feathers?
You can see that there's some kind of black bird.
Yeah, you're not supposed to mess with the ravens because bad things will happen.
Keep a note on this. We'll come back for it. We're already planning on coming back anyways.
Alright.
Sorry, say that again.
So we'll keep a note of this. And we'll come back for it. We're already planning on coming back anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So then...
Let's just...
Okay. So it's another hour of walking. So you've now been travelling for, I'd say 2 hours? It's coming up to midday. Not that you'd really know that for the sun. And the pelting rain that is still happening. But you do begin to see, at least on the horizon, the outline of some kind of township.
Alrighty, let's not make a big scene when we get there. We're just going to walk in, ask for a tavern, we'll go in there, we'll all have a lovely chat. We're not going to say that we got kicked out of the last town. Sound good?
Sandra will nod.
Cool. Jack?
Yes.
That sound alright with you?
I don't see a problem with that.
Surprised. But alright, let's continue.
Okay. The road branches north and climbs a rocky escarpment, ending at a gatehouse built into a 20-foot high wall of stone reinforced with buttresses every 50 feet or so. The wall encloses a settlement on the side of a snow-dusted mountain spur. Beyond the wall, you see the tops of snow-covered pines and thin, white wisps of smoke. A somber toll of a bell comes from a stone abbey that clings to the mountainside high above the settlement. The steady chime is inviting, a welcome change from the deadly silence and oppressive fog to which you have grown accustomed. It's hard to tell at this distance, but there seems to be a switchback road clinging to the cliffs that lead up from the walled settlement to the abbey.
Saya's gonna turn and look at everyone and go, I have business at the Abbey. That's where I would like to go.
Can we set up a place to stay first and have the discussion? It sounds like that was a pressing thing. Then we can do that? Or is like your matter of being like someone's gonna die in the matter of that amount of time?
I suppose I can wait a little longer.
Thank you.
I promise we'll see to it that you get your mission. He kind of just tilts his head and raises an eyebrow. Completed. But I believe this is very pressing.
Alright, off we go!
You walk for, admittedly, a couple of 100 feet as you make your way up this dirt patch. But you make it to the gatehouse. The air grows colder as you approach the walled settlement. Two square towers with peaked roofs flank a stone archway, into which is set a pair of 12-foot tall, iron-bound wooden doors. Carved into the arch above the door is a name, Kresk. The walls that extend from the gatehouse are 20 feet high, and atop the parapet you see 4 figures wearing fur hats and clutching spears. They watch you nervously.
Zach, do you want to take care of this one, or should I?
If you could, that'd be fantastic.
I'll kind of stroll in front of everyone and be like, good morning!
There's definitely a look. You can see that above you there are 4 people just looking between themselves. It seems that they're not really sure who's talking or who's going to be nominated to talk. But one of them seems to break first in the sense of they give in to the peer pressure of the stares from their peers. Yes. Hello? What brings you?
Weary travelers, simply seeking for shelter out of the rain.
There's a little bit more discussion between the 4. One moment, please. And they disappear from sight.
An issue? Anybody else? Can anyone else hear DM?
They kind of like cut off a little bit, so I don't know if there's like connection issues or something.
Oh no, like all I said
Yeah.
was the guard said 1 moment and they left. You've been left in front of the door.
Oh, okay, I see.
Do we let ourselves in?
No,
Not
we
if
don't
you
let
wanna get
ourselves in.
speared.
Why?
They'll be back. Breaking and
Or we
entering
could
is no. Trust me on those one.
Oh, right. Anyone up? Played dominoes? Wait, haven't been invented yet. Never mind.
Red Dominoes, I'd be happy to play.
There's a creaking above you as you can hear like some kind of wood groaning. And in front of you stands a middle-aged man. Full beard mustache combination. You can see streaks of white beginning to pepper the dark brown of his hair. He seems to have what might have been flowing locks in his youth, but now that he's aging and his hair is thinning, the side parting is the only thing really giving it any volume, especially in the rain. He seems to be dressed semi-practically, in the sense of he is also wearing one of these thick fur hats and a large thick fur coat. But he looks down at you all, and even from the 20 feet distance, you can see him not necessarily judging you, but at the very least, there's a calculating look in his eye.
Morning? Afternoon?
You see him look up into the sky as if trying to discern the time of day from the position of the sun, but with it pelting it down with rain, he is not getting anything. Can I help you?
Yeah, as I told the other skittish fellow, I was just seeking some shelter from the rain for a bit.
You see him thinking over that. Krez does not have the resources or the available space to be able to take in people that are not able to pull their weight.
We have coin. It's not like we're seeking like asylum or anything like that. We're gonna pay for a room and food. We're not here to mooch. Do I look like a moocher? I look at everyone else.
Queenie steps forward a little bit.
No, no. You did enough talking today. That was a rhetorical question. I go back to everyone. I go back to the guys. We'll pay for everything.
And I'm a blacksmith by trade. I can help.
Mm-hmm.
I also do pretty well in healing.
You're adventurers, aren't you?
They might be. I'm stuck, and I'm trying to find the right path for me.
If you would be
Would
willing...
that be better if we were?
Sorry.
Sorry.
If you'd be willing... You can run an errand And then by law, I would have to house you.
Is there a law that just says, hey, you have paying customers? Let them in?
No. But I also do not wish to go against or for our liege lord if I can help it. If you are enemies of his, then that brings me bad omens. And if you are friends of his, then that makes it no better.
Who's the liege lord?
He quirks an eyebrow at that. Just go. And that tells me everything I need to know.
Oh wait, hold on. If you're talking, look, everyone's got their own thing. I was trying to be polite and not gonna share one. Are you talking about Strahd, the big man upstairs? Because me and him were pretty tight. Not, I can't say pretty tight. We are medium.
I don't think that's a good thing to be flaunting to random people.
Well, I mean, for all they know, I could be lying.
Yeah, when when Azazel says that, Saya just kind of glares at him.
Still, Aaron, no Aaron, things come in.
If you can go south and head to the winery, there are deliveries that were meant to be made days ago, and we have heard no word from them. Feel free to rest in the gatehouse if you need time to prepare, but I will not let you in until you have done so.
Yeah, I didn't think you would. Fine, gatehouse it is. Point me in the direction of the gatehouse, please.
You're standing under it.
Oh, you want me to get that? Fine. Alright, everyone, come in, huddle. Become a happy family.
And with that, the man that was standing at the top just kind of audibly huffs and then heads back down what you're assuming is either a ladder or a set of wooden stairs.
Oh, what a brood. Alright.
Sounds like we need to head back to the winery.
Yes, it does. So do we talk here? Do we do the winery? It's getting really awkwardly quiet again.
I'm gonna say we'll go to the winery and do what we need to there.
Oh, you're gonna say we do that?
If that's alright with everyone.
Oh yeah, it's great. Let's go. Yes? No?
Worst case scenario, we might be able to spend the night at the winery, depending on what's going on there.
Xander, big brain.
I also feel like that might be the best position to go to. We can't stay here forever, and we have a task that we need to complete to enter the town. So, order of operations should probably be investigate the winery and see where the wine is. If there's a problem, deal with it to the best of our ability, and get the wine, bring it here, or if we have time and resources and nothing is actually particularly wrong, we can rest in the winery for a little bit if we need to. If anyone's cold or needs to dry off a little bit. But that's just my opinion.
Everyone else good? We all ready?
Alrighty, let's head out.
Huzzah.
Glad to see everyone's still doing alright.
Brand. Queenie, Aurora, say, are you all doing grand?
Mm-hmm.
Aurora just gives kind of like a half-hearted smile.
That's a genuine question. Like, I mean, obviously we're not talking right here, but like, I'm like, everyone is okay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Queenie's nice and quiet. I'm gonna take that as like yes.
I believe I've spoken too much today.
You have. This was something you could talk about. Great. And let's head off. No one's coming.
Oh, I thought we were all following.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, nothing happened. So I was like, wait, hold on.
I did. I thought we were all just following you.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say is we're finally gonna do the wine task that we've been tasked to do but haven't done yet.
The completionist is me and is very happy with this.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't even complete the windmill task.
But we at least
Fine.
attempted it, so it's kind of a check mark.
We tried, we got our asses kicked, we tactical retreated, it's fine.
I agree with Sonder. It's fine. We don't. They'll be fine.
By the time that you make it back to that set of crossroads, everyone would notice that those two scarecrows, they're gone.
That's not good vibes.
I knew those weren't good scarecrows.
Well, everyone keep on the lookout for either bird monsters, or scarecrows. An amalgamation of all three of the above.
Scarecrows don't typically move around, but I guess here, anything can happen.
It could also be somebody playing a trick on us. But I don't think somebody would be just walking around in the rain just to mess with us. So I think you're a little bit more on the nose. Just kind of like leans his head to Jack. Like, eh.
Right, well, I'll have King take point, and I'm going to be standing right behind King. I'm going to start heading down that path towards the winery.
I follow after Jack.
I will take up behind Queenie then.
Zaya's it's kind of walking on the side, not really in a line, kind of walking.
Okay. After about half a mile, so for you guys, because you can walk 3 miles an hour, not long at all. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. The road becomes a muddy trail that meanders through the woods, descending gradually until the trees part, revealing a mist-shrouded meadow. The trail splits. One branch heads west into the valley, and another leads south into dark woods. A wooden signpost at the intersection points west and reads, Vineyard.
What's everyone thinking? Do we want to go to the vineyard or book a trail into the woods?
usually vineyards are connected to where they make wine. So my vote would be to go that way, because the winery should be closer that way.
I just have a itchy feeling that we're gonna have to make that trip down to the spooky woods.
I would rather not go down the trail to the spooky woods. I don't exactly know this land, but from what I've heard of it, going down somewhere dark and mysterious is not the best course of action.
Alright, I will head to the vineyard. If we can find a building, we'll make sure that building's safe, at least.
Alright then. The rain actually begins to lessen a little bit. It's no longer such a downpour. It's now lessened to maybe a little bit more of a light drizzle. Unpainted fences blindly follow the trail, which skirts north of a sprawling vineyard before bending south towards what looks like a stately home. The fog takes on ghostly forms as it swirls between the neatly tended rows of grapevines. Here and there, you see rope-handled half-barrels used for hauling grapes.
Are they filled with grapes, or are they just sitting there empty?
They're just sitting there empty.
Alright.
As you begin to make your way, because none of you are stealthing, north of the trail is a large stand of trees, so a small little copse, or collection, I guess the best way of putting it. And as you get closer, a man wearing a dark cloak and cowl stands at the edge of the tree line, beckoning towards you.
Jack will call out. Hello there!
He acknowledges the call. As you get closer, you can see that there is a white beard coming out from beneath the bottom of the cloak. But instead of calling out, there's just a bit more of a hurried beckon, and he slips in between the tree line.
This doesn't feel good.
No, it doesn't, but it's our only lead right now, so Jack's gonna start picking up the pace.
I'm keeping pace with Jack.
Hackles raised, but definitely following the other two.
Definitely have a hand on weapon. And shield.
Alright then. Pushing past that first line of trees actually ends up into... It's not necessarily a clearing, but it's at least a gap where some of the roots have created a small space between a spiral of trees. And it's here you see 9 figures. Some of them are adults, but 4 of them are children. The man that gestured to you originally, you see is now an old, hunched-over man. Hair stark white against his tanned face, a ruddy nose, the only hint that he used to potentially work in the sun. He has a long walking stick that's almost to his chest height, that he props himself up on as he looks over at you. It seems that some form of arthritis has meant that now his natural state is to be hunched over.
Hello all, if you don't mind me asking, why do we need to rush on over here?
the old man looks to you all and goes, "If you're heading to the winery, it has been compromised."
Do we know by what?
Druids. And he, brings up some phlegm and spits it on the floor.
Did he say druids?
Yeah.
Sandra will very, kind of tilt his head in a little bit of offense, but he won't really say anything, lest Jack doesn't probe for more information.
I'm definitely probing for more information. Could you elaborate on that, sir? Wouldn't druids, help promote the growth of the grapes and everything like that?
And this old man, begins to, double over laughing to the point that he starts to, cough. One of the adults seems to be a man in, probably, early 30s, goes over and begins to rub his back. And another man, older, definitely more 40s, looks over and goes, "You are not from here, are you?"
No, I can assure you that one.
The druids here are not friends of nature in the standard sense. They worship Strahd here. For his abilities to change the weather.
Oh.
Any druid that you see worships Strahd like a god.
That starts to make a bit more sense now, and I'm guessing... So why did they take the brewery, then? With the winery?
It's probably because of our closeness to Yester Hill. At that point, the older man has recovered himself a bit and just goes, "The druids have a stronghold to the south. They call it Yester Hill. And we are their closest neighbors. We are also the only thing keeping the people of Barovia trundling through their unhappy lives. Of course they would want us out of business."
So are they stationed in the winery right now, or are they still back at their place? In, that hill?
At that point, the other man, the man in his 40s, takes over. Just goes, "There will be some at the hill, yes, but they have taken positions in the winery. There will be people inside, and there will be people out in the vineyard." He kind of gestures to the open field behind you.
Fair enough. Good to know.
We were driven from our home. And we've been forced to live in the woods.
Do we know how many there are?
A handful of druids. But they've been corrupting the nature. Turning it into blights that serve them.
Alrighty. He's gonna turn back to the group.
As you're about to start talking, Jack, the only woman of the group wearing the same kind of dark leather cowls and cloaks to keep out the rain. She's been swaddling a baby this entire time, but she reaches out to the man that's been talking to you and backhands him, like, lightly against his chest. Just goes, "Really now, Adrian? Where are your manners? These people are debating on whether to help as they might as well know your name."
It's all fair we haven't introduced ourselves either. But, my name is Jack.
Zazel.
Sonder.
Aurora.
Saya.
Weenie.
The woman swaddling the baby like smiles at you all and just goes, I am Stefania, and these are my brothers, Elvir and Adrian, and this is my husband Dag." And she links arms with the only one that hasn't spoken. And the old man looks to you, Jack, and after, like, giving you that standard, like, squinty, open one eye, like, old person look up and down, he takes one of his hands off of the walking cane that he uses and holds it out to you in a handshake.
Jack will take it.
Davian Martikov.
Oh.
Pleasure to meet you.
Was that out loud?
Yes, definitely. Because Sandra's like, oh, it's like the innkeepers. They're also the Martikovs.
I was gonna say, hearing you go, "Oh," Davian will turn to you and, like, there's a bit of a raised eyebrow of, like, that name means something to you?
We, know of a couple other people with that same last name. So, I thought you might have been related.
There's almost a sneer as he sucks in air quickly through his nose. It's almost like a reverse huff. But he doesn't comment any further.
You will let it lie, considering the, expression, and kind of just nod and not say anything else.
I have another question. You guys know this land better than we do. We just got here, we're walking out in that open field. Is there any way to get to the actual building, the winery, without going through the field? Is there a back entrance, tunnels, or anything like that?
There's multiple doors, Adrian says, coming forward. There is also a loading bay, which is completely open to the outside world. You don't have to go through any doors to get into there.
Anyway, to get to it without going through the fields.
There is technically a back door, but you would have to at least circle a bit of the greenery. There's no way of going underground, if that's what you're asking.
It was more for ways to get to the actual building, because I could see it going two ways. I'm open to other ideas as well. Just gonna look at the group. We could always try taking the ones out in the field first, but it's gonna be open. We can't use destructive magics because we don't want to be taking out the fields. Second thing is, if we take the building, we would then have a defensible position, but we don't know how many are in there.
How many of them do we think there is?
It's at a handful, so I'm going to assume probably about 4, 5, maybe up to 7.
And why do we believe we have... Can we talk to my friends privately, please?
Of course. And the Martikovs back away to give you at least a little bit of peace.
Why are we killing the druids?
Not so much killing the druids, trying to take at least the building back.
Yeah, but why are we doing this like it's a possible fight?
Because if they're not going to be giving it back, it's possibly going to be a fight.
Yes, but why wouldn't they give it back?
Because they want the place to go out of business.
But they worship Strahd, right?
Yes.
Is this wine for Strahd?
No.
Yeah. Why don't we just lie to them and tell them, hey, we're going to take it to Strahd? I feel like that's an option.
You're forgetting they also ran these people out of their homes.
Yeah. No, I didn't forget that.
You're ignoring that then.
For now, because if we get the one aspect out, it solves one issue, and then we can fix the other issue later. One issue at a time.
Well, here right now, if we solve the other issue first, we solve both issues at the same time.
Well, we're looking at it, sure. Alright, then let's go. Guns blazing.
If they are, as the people say they are, destructive and corrupting, I don't think we're going to reason with them particularly well. Nothing that we say will turn us in their favor, really. And they don't want to be messed with. Kind of like gestures to the people. They've run everyone out of their homes. I don't think there's going to be much talking, unfortunately.
Alright, Jack, let's hear it.
What I see right now, fields are a death zone. I don't want to say that right now. I'm going against druids. They can take different forms. We don't know how many are in the field right now. Building's a bit different. Any animals inside of a building we could probably assume is probably a druid if they are taking a form. Plus a building gives us an enclosed area, a defensible position. So if we needed to retreat while trying to take out the fields, we at least have a place we could bunker down. My thought process is we take the long route, make it to the backside, clear the building first, then push out the front. And if they decide to turn tail, they have a clean shot back down the road, back to where their home is. No extra resistance for them to retreat.
Doesn't sound like a bad idea. What everyone else thinks.
I also think it's a very thought out plan.
I wouldn't go
I
that
agree.
far.
I won't go that far either.
Well, thought out isn't the correct word then. It is. He kind of just gets a contemplative look on his face. Very well thought up with the time that we have been given, with contingency plans, and good grouping.
Big brain. I like it.
He kind of just gives Azazel a shy smile. I'm trying to be a little bit more proactive after everything that's gone down.
I mean, I think it's great. Big brain.
He'll give you like a gentle like pat on your back as like a thank you.
Right. Well, we'll go to the building. We'll push through the back door. Don't know how it's gonna be laid out. We'll clear one room at a time. Take out the druids in that room if we can. Let's try to not split up. If one person's in one room, we all go into one room.
Back
Sounds like a cluster, though. Like, I don't disagree with what you're saying, but if we all go into one spot, it's very easy for things to go weary in that case as well. So I say don't spread out, but if possible, don't get too close together.
Keep some space. Just
Yeah.
don't get lost.
We also don't know technically what kind of druids we are dealing with, because druids are not singular. They have many different circles, and especially if these druids worship Strahd and more decay and corruption, they could have different types of magic, which we also might need to look out for. They might not all be able to transform into animals. Some of them might be more spell-oriented.
I don't think that's a bad idea. Big brain.
Saya,
We'll go for it.
Saya was just gonna look over at Sonder. And Saya was gonna look over at Sonder and go, would you have any tips on how we go about this if they do start to fight?
Well, he kind of scratches the back of his head. I guess, I haven't really been around people, for very long. This is kind of the most people I've interacted with within 60 years. And I don't really remember much about my circle, but it would probably be assess the biggest threat first and focus them down and move on to the next. Just kind of like question mark. He's definitely like wringing his hands a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm not the best when it comes to this information. I usually try to not be as aggressive, but we don't really have a choice right now.
Good idea. Think about it like kind of like a chain. Figure out what chain's the strongest link. You break that, then you just got weaker links.
And also, if any of them are seen healing, it would probably be best to take them out as well, because if we knock down the biggest link, they could be picked right back up.
Alrighty. Do we have any other things we want to add? We all good with this idea?
Aurora just nods.
It's the best we got right now, so.
Alright, well, we'll march in order now. Who wants to be in the front pushing in? King is gonna be there. I can already assure you that one.
I'll be in the front.
I'll be off to the side, somewhere in the middle.
Fair enough.
In case anything does happen, I should probably stay in the back.
I can be near the front as well.
I'll be straight in the middle then, I guess.
Alright. Could you do me a favor, Azazel?
Oh, for you anything.
Oh, beautiful, thank you. I need all the gold in your pockets first, and then joking. When we first push in, whenever we're first moving in, could you stay hidden? Cover our 6?
I'll go in the back then.
Not so much needing to be in the back, but you can still be on the side. Just if there's another entrance, just stay hidden.
Do you want me to get in the fight as well, or am I staying hidden?
If a fight breaks out, I want you to be able to get the drop on some. That's the thing.
Sure, yeah,
You're
I'm
already
happy with
good
that.
at not being seen. As
I know.
opposed to...
I can't believe I hide this gorgeous face. No, that's fine. Do you want me in the back and hidden, or in the middle and hidden? I really don't care.
Middle and hidden. You wanted to be middle, stay middle.
I really didn't want to be, but I felt like that's what people wanted me. I'd rather be in the back.
Then staying back.
Alright. Back and hidden. Done.
Fair enough. Start walking around.
Should we stealth while we go
Yes.
through the fields and stuff?
Yes, we
Because I was
should.
gonna say
Yes, we should.
before we start walking. Hold on. I have a spell for this.
Do you have Pass Without Trace?
Yes,
Yeah.
Sweet!
if I can find it.
Wait, hold on. Wait till we get closer, though.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
there's also a
10
question
minutes.
as well. I know Queenie's still in her armor. Is anybody else still in their armor?
You think I
Aurora.
have armor?
Yeah,
I'm mainly
Aurora.
directed
It doesn't
at Aurora.
It doesn't wear armor.
Again, mainly directing us towards Aurora.
Well, that's
Yeah.
why we're doing Pass Without Trace.
Yeah, before we actually get like into fighting distance, like we're still relatively unseen, you know, pass without a trace. Cause that shit's gonna be important, especially for Azazel, if we need to have him get the drop on anyone.
I mean, I'm not too worried about people's armor, but
It's more so that I'm transparent to DM and being like, hey, I'm in my armor. This is going to be made with disadvantage.
I'm pretty sure the DM's not. Oh, the DM is back. Lovely.
Yeah. A lot of us is going to be not stealthy.
Like King.
A giant mechanical man.
We don't talk about that.
Walking in mud.
It's alright. You've got the non-stealthy people right in the front.
He's our iron giant.
It'll be fine. Don't worry. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Well, we'll be
We're
pulling focus, so you guys can all be sneaky.
We actually have an even split of people who are stealthier and people who are not. We got Jack, King, Aurora, and Queenie, who are not stealthy, and then we have Saya, Zazel, and Sonder, Who are?
See, you'll be fine.
Well, I have no issues.
Well, it makes me think if I should have Saya close to like a wall so I can dip in and out of it.
Technically speaking, you could literally just enter from whichever angle you want.
That is true. Entirely true.
As long as you know you can breathe on the other side, that's all that matters.
Everyone else has a stupid limitation of walls and doors.
Sucks to suck, huh?
It's a skill issue, I know.
Living is overrated.
But yeah. We'll start stealthing around, and then whenever we get closer and start pushing in, that's whenever we start using Path Trail Trace.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably the best bet.
But just bearing in mind, if you roll the stealth before you cast Pass Without a Trace, that plus 10 does not apply.
Oh.
Because it doesn't just stack on top of whatever stealth you're doing.
We
So,
would reroll, wouldn't we?
Oh, I mean, yeah, it would then be a reroll.
So we can start off stealthing now just to get to the point, and then when we get closer and you want to cast it, it would just be a reroll for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
doesn't it last for an hour?
For 10 minutes.
Because on my sheet it says it lasts for an hour.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, then yeah, an hour.
That's what I was gonna say.
I thought it was 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's concentration, 1 action, 30-foot radius, and 1 hour.
Yeah, I can tell you it's not going to take you an hour to walk up to the winery. Even going in stealth mode.
Hey.
Going around the winery to take the back entrance?
Not even then.
Oh, fantastic.
Cool. Stealthy incoming.
So then, if we position Sonder so that they're in the middle. I'm just wanting to get an idea of marching order. So where are people placing themselves in relative distance to Sonder?
I am smack dab in the middle. Like, of the formation. And then most people are in the front with Saya and Azazel in the back.
I moved myself to where I want to be to the relative of the group.
Mhm.
Actually, no. It is over there. I would like to be there.
I was going to say, assuming that this is forward.
That's for... Yeah. I want to be... there.
Okay. So then we're rolling stealth checks.
Standard ones, right? We're not doing the...
Oh no,
plus
with
10 yet?
with
Or
plus
are we?
10 because Sonder has cast
Okay.
it.
It's...
Okay, so that's a 30 for Saya.
Am I invisible?
Oh dear.
Really,
At
Jack?
plus 10
God
will
damn it!
save us. Oh my god.
I hope my 33 helps.
Aurora did surprisingly good on that.
So that's a 25 from Sonder.
God damn, the steel defenders even still do.
I fucking love that so much. That's so funny.
Have the Steel Defender pick you up and carry you, motherfucker.
I'll say,
I just
because
disappeared.
other than the natural 1, the lowest that we've rolled is an 18.
15.
Where's the no, that 15 becomes a 25. Because they didn't add the
I
plus
added
10.
my 10 with it. Okay.
Yeah, no, the lowest with the plus 10 is the 18 from Queenie.
Hell yeah.
I
So-
am not stealthy.
It's all good. You're not meant to be. I'll say that because there's a relatively high roll from the group that We can cover up for Jack's mistakes.
Jackie's the mistake. Sorry, what?
That's fair.
That's very mean. I love my Jack. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Doesn't change the backs.
Alright then. Situated in the middle of the vineyard, the winery is an old, 2-story stone building with multiple entrances. Thick ivy covering every wall, and iron fencing along its roofline. The trail ends at an open loading dock on the ground floor. So the path that you're technically following right now, it leads up to this loading dock that Adrian told you about. A wooden stable of a more recent construction than the rest of the building is attached to the east side, and it's technically the thing that you're coming up to first. And it's next to the loading dock. It's on the right-hand side of it. On the far side of the building, so on the opposite side of the building that you're on, there is a crumbling well and a wooden outhouse, sorry.
So if we find out all of the druids are squirrels and they're all in the outhouse ready to gang.
I thought you were gonna go somewhere else with that.
If they were squirrels, they'd be very easy to get rid of until they pop back into their regular forms. Then they can change into scarier shit.
Yeah. King will slowly approach the bay doors.
Oh, the loading dock doesn't have any doors. It is
fair
completely just open to the elements.
Then yeah, he's gonna approach the entrance then. Gonna go on in.
Yeah, parked in the loading dock is a wagon with 3 barrels set in braces on the bed. A raised wooden walkway runs along the walls that are not connected to the pathway. Through a hole in the ceiling, you see the wooden arm of a loading crane with ropes and hooks dangling from it.
Do we see any type of creatures in here or animals?
Roll a perception check.
Can we all look?
If you're wanting to, now's the time.
Better to know and see
Yes, please.
than not.
God damn. Hell yes.
Okay. Queenie, Sonder, and Azazel. While there isn't any obvious movement in the loading dock itself, this seems to be a relatively nice open space. It's when you turn to look behind you at the vineyard itself that you can see movement. Something is moving towards you. Something has sensed your presence, and the vines themselves are jostling in the fog.
We've got movement coming towards us from the vineyards.
Plant movement as well. Be careful. They could try to trip up your feet.
Are we sure we can't use fire against the vines?
Not unless we want to burn the whole vineyard down.
Isn't it a thing that they do in nature? They burn stuff so that it grows back better or healthier?
Yes, but we're surrounded by forest. I don't think that's a particularly good idea. the whole thing could be set ablaze.
It's
And we would be
also been
trapped.
raining all day. It's not gonna light on fire.
You know what? That is also very fair. I didn't think about that. That's me talking. I didn't think about that.
Like, can we not use fire? There's a wood there, but it's been raining all day.
Although it'd be really impressive if it did.
And technically, like, if you want to use fire, like, you can, but if we're in a wooden building, probably not indoors.
I'd like to point out, I wasn't the one that tries to burn buildings down in this campaign.
Yet.
That's Azazel.
No, I didn't burn people in it. They were technically in D&D terms an object.
Technically speaking, there were still vampire spawn, which are people.
No, those are objects. Also, you don't see me. I have a 33.
You also very much see me.
I was always gonna see you. Hey, Theo. Thank you. I'm going to, since it looks like it's noticed us, or sees us. Like the vines, like you said, noticed our presence.
It's not necessarily that they have seen you, more the thing of potentially sensed you.
I'm going to attempt to just push a little further from the group, like down here, and just see if it notices or moves towards it.
Okay, so in terms of the building, right now you're stood in front of the loading dock. Or did you not join that area with everyone else?
I did. How much side-to-side movement is there?
So, going up the steps into the loading dock, it's only 5 feet across.
So I would be like there?
Let me get on the map. Okay, so say for example, because it was all of you going up to the front of the loading dock with the people in the front, so that's... There we go. This line here is everyone stood at the front of the loading dock.
I'll stay back to where I am though and just stay outside because I don't think that's gonna be too much of a clusterfuck. Yeah.
You've seen the movement. What is everyone doing? I would say actually, Queenie, based on where you're stood, you can see that there is a door that leads into the winery from the loading dock at the back of it, but it's hanging ajar and slightly off of its hinges. If you were wanting to use it as a shut door between you and some potential enemies, it's not going to work. There is no structural integrity in that door.
Okay. I'll let everybody know that as well. So are we standing around hoping it just senses movement, or are we gonna do something about this?
Yeah, I'm not able to talk with them if I don't want to go out of stealth, correct?
Can't you do your telepathic connection thingy? Is it still up? Is the question?
No, it goes for an hour. I think it only goes for an hour.
You technically, you're meant to roll a dice. You rolled a dice.
Oh yeah,
so you got
it was 6 hours.
So yeah, you're fine still. But it's connected to Aurora and Jack.
See, yeah, I'll kind of go to Jack. Hey, we got a lot of movement out here. I'm assuming it's something that can sense things versus see things. So plants. That's a guess.
Fine. I'm gonna talk back to Jack. Think we pushed to the inside. fight from one front instead of fighting on backsides and front.
Okay, telling us what you want to do on my step to the side. So I'm front towards me, right?
Technically you'd be our back, but yes.
Wherever you go, I'll figure out where to be.
Alright. Alright, everyone. Push inside. Clear out the first room. Use it as a defense point. I'm gonna have King enter.
Okay. So, again, for the sake of scale, King is now here. Pushing through the open doorway, what anyone would be able to see past him, this is now a single file situation. So if anyone is going in after King, you have to go in behind him. I'll leave it up to you where you move. You can stay stood in the loading dock if you want, but I'm saying if you want to follow King.
Yeah, I will be, but the thing is that every time I move, I think I'm moving Saya as well. And I don't know how I've managed this.
There you go.
Like, see?
Oh, wow.
No, see?
That's okay.
Isn't it because you were controlling her before?
Let me go into the sheet
No,
and see.
that's-
Click off. Just click off your token, click like anywhere on the map, and then click back onto your token.
Okay, yeah, it's working now.
Okay. So you're going in straight after King, Queenie?
I'm... Essentially, the way I'm thinking of this is that I am literally... Christ, have you ever seen, like... I can't word tonight, I really can't. You ever seen those movies where it's like you literally have one person in front and the other person's on like the other person's back? And it's as if like you've got their back and you're covering them as you're going into like the room.
Yeah.
It's usually done in like police movies and like that kind of movie. So that's essentially what she's doing.
No, completely fair. So, what you immediately see, Queenie, is there's a hallway that branches through two doors. There's like a double door that fits into like a 5-foot space at the end of the hallway, but at the very end of it, there is a ramp. This turret has
A ramp?
Yeah, it's a turret style shape that has a sloping wooden floor that spirals from below you, and what you're assuming is a cellar, all the way up to the upper levels of this place. Scratch marks on it suggest that barrels are rolled up and down the ramp on a routine basis.
Okay.
And then as King makes his way to the end of the hallway, you can then see through an open set of doors. And you can see what must be the fermentation room, as there are 4 tall barrels that are just stood in the middle of the room. And you are hit with the rich smell of fermenting wine. A wooden staircase in the centre of the room climbs to a 10-foot high wooden balcony that clings to the southern wall. 4 windows set into it at the balcony level. Stacked against the wall underneath the balcony are old empty barrels with the Wizard of Wines burned into the side. The balcony climbs another 5 feet as it continues along the west and east walls, ending at doors leading to the winery's upper level. Underneath these side balconies are several doors, some of which hang open. Beneath the sloping roof stretch thick rafters, upon which scores of ravens have quietly gathered, They watch you with great interests. The balcony...
I'm not gonna piss off the birds.
Huh? Queenie, the balcony creaks above you, drawing your eye to a wild-looking figure hunched over the westernmost cask, so the one furthest away from you, pouring a flask of thick syrup into it. She wears a gown made of animal skins and a headdress of goat's horns, and her hair is long and unkempt. Suddenly, you see something skittering across the floor. It looks like a tiny creature made of twigs. It moves from its hiding place under the stairs and disappears beneath the easternmost cask, so the one closest to you.
Okay. Is King still moving, or has King stopped moving?
King has to stop, because he's now stood at the end of the hallway. Unless you want him to climb the ramp.
I don't give King his instructions. Jack does. So.
Well, I'd say because Jack is stood at the opening... Actually, no, technically, Aurora is stood at the opening of the door, and Jack is still stood in the loading bay. You'd be able to see that, for whatever reason, King has stopped, and Queenie's looking off to the left.
I've been looking for any type of insight from Queenie.
Sorry, are you wanting to roll an insight against me,
no,
or are you wanting me to roll the insight?
I'm just looking to see if you're giving any type of signs or anything like that.
This woman hasn't noticed that we're, well, what I'm assuming woman, but could be person, hasn't noticed that we're here, have they?
At the moment, it seems no.
And she's quite far away from me. Is her back to me, or is she...
Technically, she's facing you, but she's 5, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 feet away from you. Up on a balcony, actually, so she's above you as well.
Okay. I don't want to blow my stealth is the issue. But I'm... Christ. I'm going to turn, just my head. And I'm gonna try to, mouth, one person above 50 feet away.
And I...
Winky mouse.
This is Ness talking. If you guys have, grown up and worked together, wouldn't you have, code that you can just, do with your hands or something? I don't know if that's in your characters, but it makes sense to me.
We haven't really done this kind of thing before, though.
Gotcha, okay. Never mind.
It's normally the looks of, get me the fuck out of here, or looks of, you're gonna need to do the talking, but... It's not so much as, this many people in this location kind of thing. It's more of,
We're not a hit squad.
pointed look.
You're a different type of hit squad.
We hit metal, not people.
Exactly.
Alright. I'm gonna instruct King to just start making the way around the room, keeping behind cover.
Okay, this is gonna need to be a new stealth check from King, as he's now moving into a room with potential witnesses.
Does King still get the +10?
He is only just still getting the +10.
Awesome. King, you're fantastic.
Holy shit.
As he now moves to here and is through the door.
I will relay back to Azazel. We're starting to move in. Possibly he's going to be starting the fight here soon.
Gotcha. I'm so watching the back.
Appreciate you.
Azazel, with your passive perception, whatever is moving through the wood, or at least through the vineyard, should I say, is now closer. To the point that if you're going to wait around even a couple seconds more, it's going to break the equivalency of the tree line.
How far is the tree line from me again?
120 feet.
120 feet. I'm just gonna keep chilling just outside the door.
So at the moment, because of where everyone has positioned themselves, the loading bay doesn't have a door. It's just a set of steps that leads up to a wagon.
I'm sorry, I meant to say the opening.
Okay. So if everyone is
apologies.
positioned the way that they are, just making sure that it's correct. If King's gone there, Queenie's there, then there's Aurora, Jack, Sonder, Saya. 1, 2. And to the left, you'd be there. Okay. King has made his way through the door. And Queenie, from what you can see, the druid doesn't seem to have noticed him yet.
Okay.
Jack, do you give King any more instructions other than just go into the room?
Not right now, because I don't know what's in that room. So as long as he's out of the way of the door and people can enter, he's going to stay put right there.
So he is in the way of the door, so he's going to need to move a little bit.
Yeah, just so we can get out of the way of the door.
He is no longer in the way of the door.
Fantastic.
And he's doing a little scooting. He seems to be being stealthy enough for this moment.
Surprisingly very gentle with his heavy feet.
He is a gentle giant.
What is everyone else doing? Because obviously, Queenie is watching this druid. Azazel is watching the creatures coming through the vineyard. What is everyone else doing?
Jack is waiting for the people in front of him to push up so he can start moving in.
I was gonna say, yeah, waiting for there to be given like a signal to move forward.
I'm kind of at a loss because, like, I want to stay and able to get that +10 from Saunders, passes on Trace, but I'd also like say it to kind of like use her newfound ability to kind of like be a second pair of eyes.
Give me
Without
a
actually being
second
seen.
while I read the description of Pass Without Trace. It says nothing about needing to be on the same side of the wall as them. It just says that you need to be within 30 feet of them. So if you want
Okay,
to,
then.
you can pass through a wall.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. So, passing through that wall right there, you walk into a workshop. Strips of iron and wood lie in neat piles on the floor of this workshop, the walls of which are lined with tools. You technically walk through 2 work tables standing against the wall, and stop walking when you meet a point where it's like, oh, there's open floor space.
Yeah.
But you seem to have found the place where they make the barrels.
The barrels of wine.
Well, the barrels for the wine, yeah.
The barrels for the wine. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna step back out
Okay.
and kind of look at them and like point at the wall and go, right behind there, that's the workshop. It looks like.
I think you dropped into Arabella by accident.
I might have.
But Sandra will give you a nod and kind of telephone it up to Jack, just whispering the entire time.
Give a small nod. Let's get into this first room. Get everyone in there. And go forward from there. Is there any people in the workshop?
Not that I can see.
Might hit that
But-
next.
I also don't know. I didn't really stop to look to see how to get there from up there and to get over here.
Say alright, we'll find it later. Gonna nudge Aurora to see if you want to move up.
Yeah,
into the room.
she'll move up.
There's only so far up you can move Aurora because Queenie is stood in the doorway to the next room.
Okay. I'm very scared to move.
Well then, let me make that decision for you. Azazel, whatever was coming through the vineyard at you is now breaching the tree line.
Where is it?
Inhuman shapes emerge, their limbs cracking as they trudge forth through the mist and the rain. They look like animated plants. And they're small, but there are many of them, and they are now making their way towards you.
Are they like? Can I make the assumption that they see or notice or know where I am?
Well, they are heading in
Or
the
the
general direction of the vineyard, so you're assuming they've seen someone.
Update, fucking bug people. That's incorrect. Plant people. Do you want me inside or out?
Inside?
How many? DM.
At a quick count,
Yeah.
30.
What the hell? There's 30. Are we staying?
Yes, get inside now.
I don't like this, but okay, I'm gonna go. Okay, I sneak inside, but like not be like right behind. Say, can I be like right there? Like, is there a way, place? Like, I'm trying to. I'm personally, I'm having a hard time, like, because my brain's just not computing today. Is there like a way I can get a little bit above everyone else?
Not in this room, no.
Okay. All right. Well, then I guess I'm just gonna go like here and say goodbye to my 33.
I'm going to whisper to Queenie. Alright, showtime. blitz this. We get to her, we get her out.
Wait. Do I get to go in blazing?
We need to act now. We need to get these druids down now. We blitz, we push.
So no stealth?
No stealth.
Cool. Okay, I go into the room then.
You go into the room, and you're not stealthing. So
he told me not to.
yeah. So immediately, this druid turns to look at you. They see
Okay,
you.
how far away is she from me?
50 feet,
Awesome, great.
but
I cast whole
also
person.
above. So yeah, you're casting whole person. Okay. What is whole person?
I will send it now.
Wisdom save.
This is not great against druids because I believe that is what the spellcasting.
Yeah, just yeah.
A 10.
My DC is a 14.
Alright then. The druid is locked and bound, but that is going to start combat. And where I'm going to end it for today's session, I want to give this the maximum amount of time because I have a feeling that this entire winery is going to be maybe 2 sessions on its own. So
Fair
pause
enough.
it there. I'll
Dun dun dun.
I'll keep that in the chat so that when combat starts next session, we know that the druid is paralyzed and they're not going to be able to do anything.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Funky concrete.
And then I'll no one move their tokens, and I will use this as a reference point of putting you on the map when it comes to next week.
Yeah.
But thank you everyone so much for watching. I'm aware that it's a shorter one, but I want to give this fight the justice it deserves, considering that there are 30 blights heading up to the characters, and because they spent some time deliberating of whether they were moving, they're closer than you think.
Oh, uh-oh.
But that's all from me. And for my lovely players, thank you everyone for watching. You can find us here at the same time every Friday, 7 PM EST, right here. Or, if that time is a bit dodgy for you, you can watch us on YouTube every Tuesday. But for now, all I have left to say is thank you, and good night.
Night.
Bye.
Good night.